Good morning, students. Last class we learned various topics in principles of inheritance and monohybrid class and test class, and related to monohybrid class, inheritance of one gene, that is law of dominance. The Mendel formulated two laws, principles of inheritance topic, two laws, that is law of dominance and law of segregation. Today in incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance is normally in garden pea plant, the Mendel's research is okay. In F1 generation only one of the parent is expressed. For example, tall plant crossed with dwarf plant. In F1 generation only tall is expressed, no midway character is not expressed, even dwarf also not expressed. So, due to dominance the tall is expressed. Due to recessiveness, this dwarf is not expressed. But in another plants other than the garden pea plant, other scientists, not Mendel, other scientists performing various experiments in other plants other than the garden pea plant. For example, snapdragon plant, normally local vernacular name is dog flower, and scientific name is Antirrhinum species. SP means species. Suppose you do not know the species, exact species, particularly specific epithet name means you put SP dot. SP dot means Antirrhinum species. It represents Antirrhinum, any one of the Antirrhinum species. The species name correctly not known. So, we put SP dot. SP dot means is nothing but species. Then the flower color, we take another scientist take flower color for his experiment, and flower color is normally red color and white color. Red colored and white color. So, normally due to monohybrid class, Mendel performed various monohybrid class in garden pea plant, only garden pea plant, Pisum sativum, but the result is correct. In 3:1, the first generation only dominant trait only expressed. But in other plants and other scientists performing various experiments in other plants like snapdragon or Antirrhinum species plant, the particular result is deviated from the Mendel's result. The scientists are thinking why the deviation from the Mendel's result. So, normally according to the Mendel's, according to the law of dominance, only one character is expressed in the F1 generation, the dominant character. But in other plants like Antirrhinum species, various characters are expressed, not exactly the parent character is not expressed in F1 generation. So, scientists put question mark for this particular theory. So, the theory is deviated from the Mendel's law, Mendel's law of dominance. The theory is not followed by Mendel, is actually followed by other scientists, is performed by other scientists. Is incomplete dominance is not the Mendel's theory. Mendel only formulated three theories: law of dominance, law of segregation, law of independent assortment. Independent assortment in next sections we will learn. Law of dominance over, law of segregation over, but incomplete dominance is not a Mendel theory, is actually a deviation from the Mendel's. So, according to the Mendel theory, F1 any one of the characters only expressed, but in this theory, incomplete dominance theory is not performed by Mendel, other scientists perform due to incomplete dominance, and the F1 character, F1 plants is not the parent plant. So, some deviation from this Mendel's. How the deviation occurs? With the use of cross. Okay, listen. So, flower color, we take a flower color in a dark flower. Dark flower is nothing but snapdragon species or antirrhinum species. As we take a flower color is actually antirrhinum is two version, one is red and another one is white. Antirrhinum is nothing but dark flower is nothing but normally we used the particular plant for this some process, some culturals and religious ceremonies. The flower in Tamil is known as kolikondai, red colored, pink colored, white colored flowers. Tamil is known as kolikondai. So, normally we use this flower in religious and some cultural ceremonies. So, how the incomplete dominance is performed. So, normally we take a red colored flower is normally is known as capital RR, a red colored flower crossed with white colored flower, white flower, white colored flower and red colored flower. Okay, this is actually a parents, not a garden pea plant. Again, is actually incomplete dominance is not related to the Mendel's law, it is deviated from the Mendel's law. It is not related to the Mendel. Other scientists following other experiments and like in dog flower formulated another one theory. That theory is nothing but incomplete dominance. Listen. So, red flower is crossed with white flower, dark flower. So, normally red flower means producing what type of gamete? Capital R gamete. Here small r gamete. This is actually gamete. Then male gamete fuses with the female gamete and F1 generation are produced. This is actually F1 generation. So, F1 generation normally we know according to the Mendel, according to the law of dominance, F1 generation is red only, but in this class is not red. It is actually pink. Okay. So, according to the law, red only dominant. So, red only expressed in F1 generation. But this law is red is not expressed, even white also not expressed, is the medium character, the middle character between red and white. The pink color is produced. Pink colored flowers are produced in F1 generation, the first generation. Then the same pink colored flower is self pollinated. Self pollinated. Self pollinated, then the two gametes are produced, capital R gametes and small r gametes here. And here also capital R gamete, small r gamete, that is actually gamete. Then we fuse one male gamete with one female gamete, one male gamete with another female gamete, one male gamete with a female gamete, another male gamete with a female gamete. Okay. Which one? Capital R and the capital R small r and the capital R small r and small r small r. It is actually F2 generation. F2 generation. So, in capital R means what? Capital R means red colored flower. Capital R small r means pink colored flower. Here small r means white colored flower. So, in F2 generation 3 colored flowers are produced. So, that is phenotypic ratio, the same phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic means morphological ratio of snapdragon plant. So, morphologically red 1, pink 2 and the white 1, red 1, pink 2 and the white 1. So, phenotypically 3 different characters are produced. So, in this class which one is dominance? In monohybrid class we know red only is produced in F1 and in F2 also red is more. So, we concluded red is a dominant. In this class here which one is dominant? Is red is not dominant, pink may be dominant because 50%, 1:2:1 means genotypic ratio. First this is genotypic ratio. Genotypic ratio also capital R 1, capital R small r 2, small r 1. So, in this which one is dominant? Red is not dominant, pink maybe some dominant and the white is also not dominant. So, pink only is dominant and pink only means not complete dominance. So, 75:25% means this is full dominance. It is actually Mendel cross law of dominance, but here pink is dominate other than 2 because other pink is in percentage means 50% pink and 25% red and 25% white. So, pink is dominant because pink is 50%. The 4 plants are produced mean 2 plants are pink. So, pink is 50%, white is 25%, here white also red also 25%. In percentage wise which one is dominant? Pink only dominant, but it is not like 75:25 as in monohybrid class. Here 50% pink. So, pink is 50%. So, pink is dominated over the red and white, but is not fully dominated, incompletely dominated. Now, if example pink is 75% means this is pink is completely dominated to the other, but here pink is incompletely only dominated, not completely dominated. Pink is 50% as compared to the 25 and 25. So, pink is dominated, but it is not like full dominance, it is actually is incompletely dominated. So, the cross the particular condition is known as incomplete dominance. In this cross, in the snapdragon plant, in the antirrhinum species plant, pink is dominant over the red and white. So, in this cross is said to be incomplete dominance. So, is actually a deviation from the Mendel's monohybrid cross. So, how the incomplete dominance questions in your board exam? Work out a cross when the phenotypic and the genotypic ratio are similar. Work out a cross when phenotypic and the genotypic ratio is similar and explain the particular cross. Means you write about incomplete dominance definition and then the particular cross and the ratio of phenotypic and the genotypic ratio, and explain about incomplete dominance. Okay. This is actually incomplete dominance, maybe in 2 marks or 3 marks in your board exam class. So, what is meant by incomplete dominance? Incomplete dominance is nothing but the particular character is incompletely dominant over the other character, not completely dominant, incompletely dominant over the other characters. The process or the explanation or the definition is known as incomplete dominance. So, incomplete dominance is performed in a snapdragon plant or the antirrhinum species. The ratio of phenotypic and genotypic is both 1:2:1 and 1:2:1 also. Okay. This is actually incomplete dominance with red and white flowers, actually deviation from the Mendel. So, copy the cross in your classwork notebook and we move to the next part. So, next one, listen. So, how the explanation of the concepts in dominance. Take your book, page number 76, NCERT biology book. What exactly is dominance? What is meant by dominance? Normally, we know the character is expressed in F1 generation. It is said to be a dominant. For example, we cross tall pea plant with the dwarf pea plant. Which character is expressed in F1 generation? Is tallness. So, tallness is dominant. So, which character is not expressed in F1 generation? Dwarfness. So, dwarf is recessive and the tall is dominant. Listen, why are some alleles dominant and some other recessive? So, to tackle these questions, we must understand that what a gene does. What a gene does. What is in the gene? So, for tackle this question, we learn what is meant by gene. What is meant by gene? Gene is nothing but the segment of DNA which present inside the chromatin reticulum. Listen, what is meant by gene? Normally, in last or 2-3 class before, we learned the cell which contain nucleus, eukaryotic cell, and the chromatin reticulum are present. In chromatin reticulum, we expanded view of the chromatin reticulum. The chromatin reticulum only contain, actually this is DNA. Chromatin reticulum is nothing but DNA with some protein, histone protein. The DNA is actually the expanded view of chromatin reticulum means this is actually DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. In part of the DNA, the segment of DNA, the part of DNA or segment of DNA is known as gene. So, normally gene only it is present inside the DNA or the segment of DNA or the part of chromatin reticulum are present inside the nucleus. Maybe inside the chromosome also. The chromatin reticulum only during cell division stage. Chromatin reticulum only during cell division stage. Chromatin reticulum only during cell division stage. It is converted into what? Chromosomes. Or already we have studied in 11th standard. And this is actually a chromosomes. Okay. The chromosomes is nothing but the structure which present inside the cell during cell division. Normally, a nucleus which contain chromatin network and chromatin network only during cell division stage. During cell division stage, it is converted into chromosomes. Okay. So, we know the function of gene, then only we identify which gene is expressed, that is dominant, which gene is not expressed, that is recessive. So, first we know what is gene. Gene only is controlling the characters from one generation to another generation, it is inheriting the character from one generation to another generation. What exactly gene does? It is actually gene which controls the protein synthesis. Listen, for example, in next lesson we will easily learn what is meant by gene, how genes is controlling or producing the proteins. In this lesson, I explain simply what is meant by protein and how genes are produced, how proteins are produced. Listen. So, actually cell For example, the cell particularly need a particular protein. For example, the cell is a garden pea plant cell. The garden pea plant cell is a tall plant garden pea plant cell. So, actually the cell contain chromatin reticulum. In chromatin reticulum, a small part which controls the production of hormones. Hormones means, for example, auxin. What is meant by axin? Already studied in 10th standard. The plant hormones, various plant hormones are studied: axin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid and ethylene. Axin is a plant hormone which is important for plant growth. It is apical dominance, apical growth, shoot tip and the root tip is grown with the use of axin, the hormone. The normally hormones which produced in plants with the use of gene only. So, for example, in a garden pea plant cell, the gene is present inside the chromatin reticulum. The gene only has information for the particular hormone production. We know, because the nucleus only it control all the activities of the cell. Even chromosomes and the chromatin reticulum and the gene only control message for the production of what? Characters. Okay. So, example, the particular chromosomes, a particular chromatin reticulum gene only which controls the production of protein. For example, axin. Okay. So, the particular gene which controls or which contain the information for the making a particular protein, the protein name is here axin, the plant hormone. So, the gene is not producing the protein, that is hormone. Gene only give message to the mRNA. This is actually mRNA. mRNA means messenger RNA, messenger RNA. I give another color. This is mRNA. Actually, DNA which contains the information for production of a particular protein. Here, this is axin, the hormone, and the particular gene which gives a message to the mRNA, messenger RNA, mRNA, messenger RNA. Okay, messenger RNA. Then messenger RNA contains some code words, and messenger RNA move out of the cell through the nuclear pore. The messenger RNA move out of the cell. Then the messenger RNA, mRNA contain information about the particular protein. So, with the use of ribosomes, we know ribosomes, the protein factory of the cell, studied in 11th standard. Ribosomes has two subunits and 50S and 30S in eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell also. Okay. In prokaryotic cells only 50S and 30S, in eukaryotic cells 60 plus 40S. Okay. So, ribosomes, here we mean a ribosome. Ribosome is actually a protein factory which is useful for the protein synthesis. So, particular chromatin reticulum information about the particular synthesis of protein, then the protein synthesizing information is given to the mRNA, messenger RNA, then mRNA carried the message, carried the code words for the production of protein, then the proteins is enter into the cytoplasm, the mRNA is enter into the cytoplasm with the use of ribosomes. This is actually a ribosome. Ribosome. With the use of ribosomes, the mRNA produce protein. The mRNA produce protein, a particular protein. For example, here axin, a hormone, a proteinaceous hormone. So, gene is not exactly, it's only contain the information, it's not producing the protein. A gene with the use of mRNA and with the use of ribosomes and with the use of tRNA and rRNA also, and the gene producing the protein. So, in this situation, how genes are producing the protein? With the use of mRNA and the ribosomes which produce the protein. So, what exactly gene does is nothing but gene is controlling the production of protein, here axin. So, the gene produce more protein means what? The axin is produced more, and axin produced more means what? The plant become tall. Normally we know axin is a hormone which is used for the plant growth, apical growth. So, automatically plant become tall. When the gene is not coding the particular protein, only a less amount of protein are produced. due to genes. For example, in this situation the gene producing the correct amount of protein, so the plant become tall. Sometimes the gene does not producing the correct amount of protein. What happen? The plant become medium height, or the plant become short. So, the plant height is controlled by auxin, we know. The plant growth is controlled by auxin, but how the auxin is produced means with the use of gene present in the DNA. The chromatin reticulum contain gene. The gene only contain information about the particular protein. When the gene is correctly producing the mRNA and the protein means due to the more protein the plant become tall. Here protein means auxin. When the gene is not functional, its gene is not producing the particular protein, so the plant become short, too short. Suppose the gene producing less efficient hormone, less efficient enzymes, not exactly enzyme, but less efficient enzymes means the plant become medium height. So, plant height is controlled by various hormones like auxin, but normally auxin production is controlled by the where the gene. The gene only is controlling the production of auxin. So, first in this incomplete dominance we for need information is first what is gene, where the gene is present, where the gene producing the hormones, how the gene is producing the hormones. So, again I briefly explain same concept. Normally gene is nothing but the segment of DNA are present in the chromatin reticulum, are present in the chromosomes. During cell division the chromosomes are present, inside the chromosomes also the DNA are present. Okay. So, DNA is contain the information for the making protein. Suppose the information is correctly copied to mRNA and the correct protein are produced. Due to this correct protein the plant become more height. Suppose the less efficient enzymes or less efficient protein, the less efficient auxin are produced means the plant become dwarf. Suppose a medium 50% of auxin are produced due to the gene work. So, the plant become medium height. So, in this category auxin which controls the growth, but auxin production, the hormone production which controlled by the gene. So, gene only controlling these characters. So, normally we know gene only controlling the characters, gene only inheriting the character from one generation to the next generation. But in this situation gene only which controls the height, which controls the production of hormones, actually which controls the height of the plant. So, in this situation gene only controls the characters of the particular organism. Okay. So, this is actually gene and how genes is controlling the characters, how genes were present and how gene is controlling the character. Okay. Yes. Let us see another example for the incomplete dominance. So, what is meant by incomplete dominance? The character is not expressed dominantly in F1 generation. So, incompletely dominant over the other characters. So, the class is incomplete dominance. So, first let us understand the other concepts of incomplete dominance, how the incomplete dominance is expressed in F1 as well as in F2 generation. So, now think the three different situation. One particular character, for example, we take capital R, capital R. So, actually what is meant by capital R, capital R? Capital R is factor, another one capital R is factor. The two factors is normally is known as allele. Contrasting maybe similar factor also is known as allele. Allele means is nothing but Here capital R is allele, only capital R means that is factor or gene. So, two factors which known as allele. So, listen, in this first situation the normal or less efficient enzymes are produced. For example, capital R means what? In incomplete dominance with the use of snapdragon species, capital R it express the red flower character. So, red flower character means that the both factors which work correctly and produce the correct amount of enzyme. Enzyme means here the pigment, colored pigment. So, the flower is said to be red colored due to the correct production of pigment. Here enzyme also no problem. The normal capital R allele which produce normal enzyme, or sometimes it produce less efficient enzyme also, but in this situation we consider the particular allele capital R allele which producing the normal enzyme. Normal enzyme is here pigment, normal pigment. So, normal pigment are produced means the flower color is red. In this another situation, the gene is not functional, not a non-functional gene or non-functional enzyme. The non-functional means the particular gene in a cell, it is a non-functional. Non-functional means is producing a small amount of enzyme. Enzyme is in this situation pigment, a small amount of pigment. Small amount of pigments means more amount of pigment means the flower is red color, only small amount of pigments means the flower is pink color, the pink color is produced. In another situation, the enzyme are not produced, not at all produced. So, here enzymes are produced means is fully produced means is red color, enzymes are produced less amount means this is pink color. If the enzyme is not produced means color is not produced, color is not present means the color is white. So, capital R, the small r is actually white. Okay. So, three situations normally we know gene only controlling the character. In incomplete dominance in the snapdragon plant, one particular gene is normal gene or the normal allele is producing the normal enzyme or normal pigment. So, the plant is flower color is red. In another situation, the gene is producing non-functional enzyme. Non-functional enzyme is the only less efficient enzyme. So, the color is pink, only small enzymes are produced and small pigment are produced. In another situation, the gene is not producing the enzyme, it is not at all producing the enzyme, not at all producing the pigment. So, without pigment the flower color become white. So, in this situation gene only controls the color of the flower. Suppose the gene is correctly producing the color means the red color, only small amount of color or small amount of pigments are produced means due to gene and that is pink color. The enzymes is not produced at all, the enzyme is not produced means the flower color become white. So, incomplete dominance are actually and the controlled by the gene is normally all the characters is controlled by the gene only, but here exactly incomplete dominance the color of the flower is controlled by the gene. So, normally we know gene only controlling the character. So, the for example, incomplete dominance in the snapdragon species, gene is correctly producing the character means that is red, is less efficient character means that is pink, and the enzymes is not produced means the color become white. Okay. Same like other character also. For example, in human beings we take. In human being, the skin color, for example, one male black colored skin and the female white colored skin. The male is producing gamete and the female also producing gamete. The gamete contain information about the black colorness in the skin, and the female gamete contain information about the black color skin information. So, the genes is correctly producing the character means black color is sometimes present in the child. The particular white color gene is correctly producing the character means the child become white. Suppose the black color gene is less efficient, the gene is not producing the particular color, that is melanocytes, melanin. It is actually here enzymes means in this situation, the human skin color situation, enzyme means melanin, a pigment. The more melanin pigment production means that the skin color is black. Less melanin pigment production means the skin color is white. So, medium enzymes, so medium melanin pigment are produced means that the color become medium color. So, according to the gene only our characters is expressed. So, normally gene only controlling the character we know already, but how the genes which controlling the character means in the incomplete dominance, the particularly the gene is producing the correct amount of enzyme means that is red, and the less efficient means that is pink, and the correct amount of no enzymes means that is white. So, in we explain, we learn how the genes which controlling the production of enzymes. For suppose gene mistakes, genetic mutations means automatically according to the changes in the gene, the characters also changed. Okay. So, this is incomplete dominance. With the use of incomplete dominance is actually deviation from the Mendel's result, how the gene is controlling the character. Okay. So, study your NCERT, and the next part is complete dominance and monohybrid cast. In the next, that is a co-dominance.